With that, I will go ahead and we can go ahead and start with the public comment period, starting with Georgina. Georgina, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and you'll have 60 seconds to offer your public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm concerned about the constant abuse of the permits on Hubbard Way. They're constantly taking out permits. They aren't displaying the permits. Then when you ask for the permit, they show the permit request and not the actual permit, which is usually altered terms. They use the police as security to keep protesters and people away. And that street needs to remain open for the hospitals, but it's also greatly important that that street remain open for the Scientologists that are trapped in those buildings that might be trying to escape. Please Google the Maureen Bolstad story. That's Bolstad, B-O-L-S-T-A-D. She was kidnapped and held under 24-hour guard. Took her 3 more years to escape. Closing off that street closes off any avenue of hope for those people that are trapped inside those buildings. Please stop the abuse.
We'll move next to Jill. Go ahead, Jill.
I'm going to continue along the line of the letter P theme. First we had planters, and now we're dealing with permits. I am telling you, it's terrible that you do not have an auditor that's going to go and assess the permit situation at this cult of Scientology. You need to send someone when they have events and assess that they're even following the rule of law under the permits. And also, if they're not doing that, you have to stop allowing those permits to be granted. No one is above the law. You are letting them hide things because they're trying to skirt the issue. They really want to close that street. And it's a pittance that they don't listen to you, or even listen to the people that are complaining that they can't even help their family members that are trapped inside, like Lara Anderson. It's terrible. If you close that street and you continue to allow these permits, things are going to be...
And that's 60 seconds. And we'll move next to Audit LA. Go ahead.
Good morning, and congratulations, President Kung. And I hope we can help build like a good relationship with you as the new president, because these issues are not going away until you guys make them go away. I am going to stick with the permits as well. I was there for a permitted Easter Sunday program, and trying to go down the sidewalk, they would not let me, even though they cannot prevent pedestrians. The police were called. The police told them they absolutely have to leave, let me go through and not harass me. And so I shouldn't have to call the police to go down a public street. And they know better. It's on their permit. It cannot prevent pedestrians. But they are continuously doing this. They're not doing the notifications to the public, to the neighbors. There's so many things that they're not doing, yet they keep getting permits. And BSS keeps saying, let me backtrack. They also did not put a fire lane. They had it completely blocked off. And yes, I went to the fire department.
And that's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Miriam. Go ahead.
Hi. I'm strongly demanding that the board stop issuing special event permits to the cult of Scientology on LRH Way. Every time they hold one of these events, they illegally shut down both public sidewalks, placing armed guards, sometimes even off-duty LAPD officers, who intimidate, selectively stop and deny access to the public in clear violation of the law. This is not a private compound. These are public sidewalks. Your continued approval of their permits makes the city complicit in civil rights violations, and you will be sued for this. I hope you understand how huge liability this situation is to the city. Stop rubber stamping permits for an organization that repeatedly abuses them. Revoke all future permits immediately until Scientology complies fully with the law. This just doesn't fly anymore.
And that's 60 seconds. We'll move next to iPhone 98. iPhone 98.
Hi there. My name is Lara. I was born and raised in the Scientology cult that most of these people are calling in about. There's many issues, and this isn't an attack. This is just, it's not an attack on public works or anything. We're trying to get you guys to be more aware that either you have people in your public works that are staffed in your organization that are Scientologists, or they're being manipulated by Scientologists, Kendrick Moxon or Jennifer or Kirsten Catano with permits and allowing these permits to happen. This is not, we're trying to attack you. It's nothing has ever been done over the last 50, 40 years that they've been allowed to sort of gang over the city. So please, just awareness is what we're asking for. Please do something about it. Thank you so much.
And that concludes public comment this morning on, for today's meeting, President King.
Thank you. With that, we will close general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and we have one commenter on the virtual platform who has requested to speak on all items, and that is Audit LA. Audit LA, I've asked you to unmute. Please identify which items you're speaking on.
All items, please. I would like, yes, I want to start with, okay, I see like a lot of different number variations, like, one, it's 50 million. There's I think a 5 million, and then there's a 2 million. The one for 2 million something is for sidewalk repair. I'm concerned about that it's getting the tiniest amount of money put towards it, but it's really one of the biggest problems. I understand the sewer and all that is also huge problems. I get it. Every time it rains here, I fully understand the sewer problem. But we have the Olympics and Paralympics coming in a very short amount of time, and you have a massive amount of sidewalks that are in disrepair. There's no way this city is even remotely close to being able to host, a massive amount of people in chairs and other walkers, canes, whatever it is. You're not ready, and $2 million here and there is not going to solve the problem. The Willis decision, I get it. You have 30 years, but you have the Paralympics in 3 years. So you're going to have to really reevaluate how you are approaching this situation. And I ask you to please do that. I also want to talk about, the bids, and I know when I first started coming here, not the past president or this current president, but the two prior would literally roll their eyes when I would bring up to make sure there's no slave labor. And I know it sounds ridiculous, right? In 2025, slave labor in America, but it happens. It's happening under your nose. It's happening. They say it's religious labor, whatever, but it's not once they start working on streets, and they do work on streets. They've worked in the film industry and got sued. Scientology did, because they weren't paying. They were paying slave wages to their people who are working on film. So little by little, hopefully it gets rectified. But you can't mock it. You have to look out for it. Because even now with the Angelino app, that it asked, like, for the businesses whether or not to make sure you attest that you are not hiring slave labor. So the city is becoming aware that it is an issue. It's not just Scientology. There's other groups, I guess, people that make a lot of money on the backs of people that are getting paid slave wages, not just. We're worried about living wages. You hear that argument about living wages, but we're talking slave wages. It exists, and you guys need to scrutinize it and stop acting, or not you guys here personally, but this society in general have to stop acting as if it doesn't happen. It happens. Okay, you ask anyone, the people that they have vacuuming Hubbard Way, how much money they make, depending if they're in the RPF or not. It's anywhere from $11 to $47 a week. Thank you.
And that concludes multiple agenda item commentary this morning, President King.
All right. Thank you very much. With that, we will close multiple item public comment.